I assume everyone received our agendas via our email in Tech Talk. So our first item is a co-president report, but I would let Ken and the other committee reports first, and then Tiffany and I can add on their updates. How about that? Ken, do you want to go first?
Do I have a choice? But
No.
can you just share my slide if you can, please?
Yeah, sure. Hold on a second. I'll share this.
Chris, you should be able to share your screen.
No, yeah.
I got an Android laptop, so
Oh, okay.
I don't wanna,
Yeah.
take any chances.
Yeah, I will share. Hold on a second.
So while Mia is doing that, this is the typical charts that I put together for our meetings. So always the green is revenue, red expenses. So starting from the greens, our revenue is increased about $35,000 to reach 294,000, representing about 90% of our total revenue target. So we still have a little bit more to go, and hopefully we'll get there by June. The revenue increase came from, you can see the details here, for merchandise sales on open house that took place in March, annual appeals. Thank you for your continued support to the PA, annual gala ticket sales, and sponsorship payments. And you can see the numbers on the slide, which I won't go into, which I won't repeat at this point. Moving to the red bars, our expenses increased by about $12,000 to reach $276,000. The major spending items are the remaining outstanding invoice for Lunar New Year, ongoing expenses related to the upcoming gala, and our continued support for the teachers' wish list, clubs, and teams. And as always, you can refer to the detailed treasurer's report published on our website, as well as included in the Tech Talk. On a year-to-date basis, our net income was $18,000, and our cash reserve as of March 31 was $498,000. That basically wraps up the finance, and I have a little announcement that I would like to share with you. Next slide, please, Mia. As you know, the PA is mandated by the DOE to have our financial records audited each year. The audit is scheduled to take place on June 4th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hopefully, it will take about 2 hours, but I scheduled 3 just to be on the safe side. The audit committee will include parents like you from the general body, as well as representation from the PA executive board. We have the audit committee set up already, but I'm reaching out to get potentially 2 additional members just in case. And we prefer someone with an accounting or auditing background. However, that's not necessary. As long as you have a bank account and you look at your bank statements from time to time, that should be good enough. Okay. I'll try to make it as painless as possible. So if you are interested in learning more about a PA finance, send me an email and we'll go from there. So that's pretty much all I have. I'll send it back to you, Mia and Tiffany.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Ken. That's very helpful for understanding our situation. I'm glad that we have some net income. That's great. So next we are having election next month in May. So it's our spring election. All the positions in PA currently are open for election. So any position you would like to run, you can run. Now it's your chance. So we will send out an email maybe tomorrow for the election, for the nomination. So you can nominate yourself, you can nominate other parents, and just follow up the emails, and then fill in the form. I will let Shani to talk more about the election. We have formed a election committee. So the committee is consists of me, Shani, and Rachel. And yeah, so because three of us are senior parents, so for like any parents, you know, like only parents are not running can be a member of the election committee. Yeah, over to you, Shani.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think Mia covered pretty much everything. There will be a notice that's going to be sent out, and in that notice will be a form for you to submit your candidacy for the elections, which will be held next month. Remember, all of the positions are available, and you can run with another parent except for the treasurer and the assistant treasurer. And if you have further questions, you can always email us at peelections@bths.edu. And just as a parent that's been on this PA since since my freshman year, I have to say that it is one of the hardest working groups that you will find, among all of the parents. And I can't say enough about how it is such a great way to get to know the community, get to know the school, get to know the teachers, even the kids. So if you have any desire to be a part of this BTHS community, please run and share, the news on your WeChat and WhatsApp groups. And please find, someone else to run with if you don't want to run by yourself. But I really encourage everyone to be involved and run the election. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shani. Shani have been taking over the heavy lifting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, okay. So next item is our gala. So we have a gala in May, also in May, yeah. So Leslie and
hold on a
Tiffany.
minute, Mia.
Huh?
Hold on a minute. Leslie is trying to get in.
Okay. So then maybe we, okay. Do you have other updates? Tiffany, do you have any other important updates for PA? So yeah, so there's another item we may need to address is the bylaws revision, but we are not ready yet for this meeting. We will send out the final draft of the revision to parents and in Tech Talk, and then we probably will vote it in June. So just yeah, stay tuned. Our email will send out all the information. I see Leslie here. Yeah, Leslie.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was trying to get in and it was saying that the meeting was to capacity. So it wasn't letting me in. So sorry about that.
It's only 100?
Yeah, I don't know why it was telling me that message. I'm sorry. So
We don't
welcome.
have 100. Oh, you know what? I thought that I had paid for the upcharge. I'm gonna check while we do this in case we have a lot more people.
No
Yeah,
problem.
I thought in the e-board meeting you mentioned that you are gonna pay for that and then we can have more capacity. But it seems like now it's a 100 limitation.
Yeah, because it just went down to 87 and I could get in, but it's probably stopping at 100. So hello, everyone. I'm Leslie. I'm your co-VP of fundraising. I'm not sure if Ting is on. So updates as far as, so we'll talk about a little bit really quick about Picture Day was a pilot program that we decided to start to see how it would go, giving 9th and 10th and 11th grade students the opportunity to take photos. Instead of just waiting till senior year, we kind of wanted to see if they were interested in it. So the pilot went really well. We had maybe 140 students sign up. We could have did some things differently, but again, it was a pilot. So one of the things that we noticed that the photographer, the company is really fast. So the pictures were like 5 seconds each take. The kids were ready. So in the future, this is something we could possibly do after school and kind of do for 2 days on a 2-hour and just let everyone come in. A second thing that I noticed that we could have done, because we did it with a time slot, where people would, every 5 minutes, we allowed 5 people to sign up because we didn't know how long it would take, but the process was really simple. But another thing that we would do is we advertise via Tech Talk. And I feel that if we had advertised via more to the students, we would have had a bigger turnout, because the students probably are the ones who would want to take the photo. So we did get a lot of signups from parents versus students. So it was a pilot. So we just wanted to see what would work, what didn't work. But overall, the PA will make some money from this fundraiser. So it was a quick 2-day fundraiser that hopefully will have a good turnaround. The gala is going, it's coming. If you haven't purchased your ticket, please do so. We only have 300 tickets available. I was trying to pull up the numbers for you. I believe we're at, I don't want to give you wrong numbers, but I would say maybe 150 tickets sold. And that's at $80 right now. May 3rd, that price will go up. And also we're looking to launch our auction online. Coming up next week, I believe. We'll finalize all the items. So that's it for the gala update. We have a lot of treats and surprises in store. So please, 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 if you are new to the school this year and your child was a freshman, please come out, meet some other parents. The gala is a wonderful event to socialize, see some people, see some performances, and get some great food and win some prizes. Is Ting on? I'm not sure if she wanted to give us any updates. Another
I
thing
think she
that
said she couldn't make it today.
okay, all right. So I'll just talk about the merch a little bit. We're trying to get merch for the gala. So we'll also have some souvenir items that you guys can purchase at the event. And this is also a fundraiser that we're trying to do. And always, please, please, please donate to the annual appeal. It helps us do a lot for our students. And that's really it for me. Any questions? Anything I may have forgotten, Mia, Tiffany, that you guys want to really jump in and talk about? Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. Yeah, please come to our gala. I think that's a great event. And last year I really had a good time. I like the video shot. it's yeah. I think
the
that's fun.
360. We're gonna have a 360 and a photo booth this year. So we'll have 2 different opportunities for you to have some fun. And we do have a open bar.
Wow. Really? Open bar. Wow. Great, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Tiffany, do you have any other updates? Or like Mary, is Mr. Newman coming? You are on mute.
He was in his meeting still, so he said he's still in his meeting. Let me see if I can get an update.
Okay. And then while we're waiting, Tiffany, do you have any important updates?
I don't, but I was wondering if we should do the Q&A. Any questions?
Yeah. I mean, normally parents like to ask questions to Mr. Newman. Maybe Mary can try to answer those
Anything
questions.
that we can answer with Mary? Yeah.
Anybody have questions?
Yeah, if parents have questions.
Hey guys, Vito was able to set it so that we are over 100. So whoever comes to the meeting will be able to get in.
Up to 500, guys. Up to 500.
Up to 500.
Wow. Thank you, Vito. Awesome.
That's
right.
great.
So
yeah.
did I miss Ken's wonderful update?
Yeah, you did.
All righty.
You did. Yeah. Yeah, and I have to say that the fundraising team did a great work during the open house. So I think we also made some profit from that, right? Yeah, that's great. So if you have any questions regarding election or the gala or anything, I think you can, because we are only like 100 or something. So if you want to raise your hand or type your questions there, we would like to answer your questions.
They would say you can come at 6:30 if you want him to, but
6:30. Okay. Then he will have 15 minutes because we are gonna have a vendor fair at 6:45.
right, it's 12
Um,
minutes from now, so
So
How
one
many
parent-
tickets for graduation? 3, right? Or 4?
it's usually 4,
4.
not including the student.
And like Mia said, elections are coming. So start to consider possibly running for a seat, or even just joining a committee that you can volunteer if you have a targeted skill that we can utilize. Please, please, please consider joining at some capacity to really help us out. This takes a lot. We have 6,000 kids. It's a big job, guys. So if you're available, please join in. I know we're going to need someone in fundraising as well. So if you're good at fundraising, helping us get some money, please, please, please consider running for a position or reaching out to me and seeing if we can run together. So let me know. Thank you.
There's a question about the AP exam schedule. What type of schedule should they expect?
I mean, if you go to the, I think it's the College Board's website, they have the actual schedule of the AP exams. I don't think they vary from school to school, but I'm not really sure about that. What you should do is email bthstesting@bths.edu. But I'm not sure what the schedule would just be. If your kid does not have an AP exam, then they don't have to come to school. And then there's a couple days, like, there's like the APs start on May 6th. And then they go until May 17th. And then there's, I don't know what's happening with those half day of AP exams. I'm not sure if like kids come in for half a day or not. Or if like the APs are in the afternoon and kids come in the morning. That you're gonna have to wait for Mr. Newman to find that out. But I'm guessing that kids will probably come in for a half day on those days. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
And Leslie and Tiffany, do you need volunteers for the gala? I think it's a good opportunity to ask for volunteer.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, yes, we do need volunteers. So if you guys would like to come out and help, that would be phenomenal. It is a lot of work. So we do need volunteers. We need donations still. We're still accepting donations. And we also have wonderful sponsor tables that are available. So if yourself or a company that you know may be interested in having a sponsor table, we have a gold member. I believe it's 5,000, Tiffany. And then we have silver, which is 2,500. And those two actually give you tables at the venue with your own special tablecloth and advertisement where you can talk and interact with parents directly. And then there's a bronze. It doesn't give you a table, but it is still a sponsor where we would advertise, put your information in Tech Talk, the journal, et cetera, et cetera. So please check that out. I'm going to post the link in the chat right now. So if you are yourself, or your company, or anyone that's interested in a table for their for your business, that's also available. We have we sold 2 already, Tiffany.
Yes.
So I believe, okay, so I believe we have 6 left, maybe. So please let us know. I'm going to put information in chat, but yes, if you're available, we would love for you guys to volunteer. Thank you.
So can you like tell us like what exactly the volunteers can do?
So we need volunteers to set up and take down. The venue does not offer any cleanup. We have to clean up. So we need volunteers to kind of be there before we start and when we end. We need volunteers to give people directives on what, how the process goes. So you would have like an item, like a wonderful pocketbook, and you'll have a box next to it, and you would help instruct individuals. You could kind of help them what the certificate entails, what this gift is, and then you would help them put their tickets inside the box desired for whatever they want to win. So just kind of, you know, assisting. We need people to help serve food. We would have Chef Malcolm doing all the food, which was amazing. We'll have appetizers, dinner. We have a live jazz band. We have a singer. We have an alum from WBLS, DJ S1, will be hosting and DJing. We will have a bar. And now the bar, let me say, the tickets for the bar or to redeem the bar is included in your admission ticket. So guys, you don't even have to pay for the bar when you come to the event. So think about that. So that's a big deal.
Definitely good news to me. So
enjoy yourself. We want you guys to bid, spend some money for a good cause. There'll be phenomenal items. So yeah, we just need help with the overall event.
So if you're available, I'm going to put the email. You can just email us questions or write that you want to volunteer.
Okay, I see some
yes,
questions
there's
there.
online auction. I see Felix asked online auction. So I think still some parents don't know exactly what activities we are gonna have for gala. So I think maybe you can introduce the again, because even Felix is kind of like confused. Like, will there be an online
Yes.
auction?
Like last year, we'll have the online auction for those who can't make it. But if you are in person, there are additional raffle prizes that you can win that are just exclusive to the event. So we will have both for people. And even if you come, you can still, of course, bid online. And like Leslie said, we're trying to open the auction next week.
Okay. Mary and then Ken.
All right, so for those half-day AP class days, the schedule, the 15th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The exams are going to be in the morning, and then kids come in the afternoon. The whole school comes in the afternoon for classes. So that's for the 15th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Thank you. Ken.
Hi, Leslie, if we want to buy the merchandise, we buy it the day of the event, right?
So we're still working out the logistics of that, but yes, for now it may be the day of the event. I'm not sure if we'll be able to set up any pre-orders like we did for Lunar New Year, just based on the company that we're going with. So most likely it will be probably exclusive to those who attend.
Okay, so bring cash, open your credit card,
Yes,
bring a check.
cash, card, we take it all, Ken.
All right,
We'll
thank you.
take what you don't have as well.
So Leslie, there's one question in the chat that I'm also curious. Like the gala ticket says dinner, 2 bar stops, and but just now you said it's an open bar. So we are curious, like is it really open bar or only can have 2 drinks?
So the 113 people in here didn't hear this from me. So you do receive 2 tickets to stop at the bar, but our celebrity bartender Angel may not stop you for that 3rd one, but based on the roulette and the criteria for the location, we have to specify that we're giving 2 tickets at the bar stop, and the bartender does take tips.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm not telling anybody, but I can't wait.
Yeah, I actually collected 4 actual 4 tickets already, so no, it's good. Okay, Tiffany, do you see any other questions in the chat that you would like to address?
If you don't, if you haven't gotten Naviance, please email me and I'll forward it to the person who does that for us. He's very nice. He gets action, so he'll help you out, but just email me.
Rachel, you mentioned issue about translation. Would you like to speak, or you just wanted to talk? Rachel.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I just couldn't remember. And I think Mary knows the answer unless somebody else does.
Miss Ivy?
What's the question?
About who calls what number to ask for whom for translation.
I
And
thought it was Miss Ivy.
okay.
Well,
No, no,
no,
no.
the person,
no.
the faculty call. I don't understand, like, who's calling who for what?
Well, we were just working on the call for nominations, right, in the bylaws, and we just came back again to the translation question. I was going to send a note to Glenn, but we would like to have it translated and more things translated into more languages. But I know
Okay,
that
but that's not done on the school side. That's done on the PA side.
okay, but there is something that Mr. Newman has said more than once in meetings. If parents have questions for the school or teachers, that's like an important opportunity. If it is regularly offered, I just think that people don't know what questions to ask because they don't know what services are available. And if there is indeed somebody in the office or scattered around the school that can help with translation, I think that we should publish that and just make it more clear more often. I thought I could just do Google Translate quickly, but no, it's like an app you download and, you know, everything is so much time. So
I know it's the VP of language offer, to do
Miss
some
Santiago.
translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, do some translation, but regular it's like related to some educational materials. And I mean, if it's just for election, like a notice or something, then Glenn can translate it into Chinese, and we can ask for other language speakers help us to translate that.
okay.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I'm
if you're
not sure
like
if
school side stuff, we do have some office assistants who are school aides who are speak Chinese. So for parents to interact, if the parents have questions, then we can get one of these people there. Like for phone calls, there's a translation service for the staff. But we do have 2 school aides that are, as you know, 'cause I think you guys helped. I think the SLT helped recommend this, right? So if that's what you're talking about, we do have 2 school aides who speak Chinese now.
Okay.
yeah, I think
but-
what Rachel think is if we can translate into other languages besides Chinese, that would be great.
Yeah, because, you know, there are requests and we see it at the other schools and we know we have the student body. So I'm just, yeah, I mean, if we could get that occasionally and include it in our communications, that for parents asking questions about their kids' language things, it's a great service. We might as well let
Yeah, I would
parents know.
encourage parents, like who speak other language as well, can step in to help us out. So the reason I involve PA it's beginning from the translation that I received a letter from the PA, and it's both in English and Chinese, and I see the Chinese translation. I can see it like immediately it's translated by by some translation too, because there's obvious errors. And then that's why the formal PA member encouraged me and said, okay, you should help us translate. So that's how I engage with PA and become a VP of communications, and then and then now co-president. So I definitely encourage anyone who speak other language, please help us out, and then engage with PA, and I think we can help reach out to more minority groups.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Is Mr. Newman, Mia, is Mr. Newman going to join us?
he said he'll join us at 6:30. Now it's 6:33. So Mary.
I'm checking him, hold on.
Is there any
Mia?
other question? Uh-huh.
Mia, we're gonna miss you.
Thank you. I definitely missed you.
Oh.
I spent 4 years every weekend. That's my
Ugh.
another full-time job. That's I told Tiffany. That's your another full-time job. So
You've done a lot of heavy lifting, Mia.
Oh, yeah, look at Kim's
Definitely,
glasses.
for sure.
You too, Shani. Both
my
of you really
glasses?
just need to stay. Send your kids to college and come back.
Shani, I can survive it
Yeah.
without you.
Someone's asking about the spring, the chorus concert. It is May 31st. It is not May 21st. May 21st.
Everyone, while we're waiting for Mr. Newman, just so you know, we have the vendor fair coming up, and each of the vendors is going to speak for 7 minutes, and then you are going to have the opportunity to go to a breakout room and find out more information from those vendors.
Okay. For the chorus concert, it's the 31st, May 21st falls during AP exam. So we're not having any concerts then. The concerts start May 31st. Orchestra is June 13th, and I'm not sure about band. I'm sorry.
And we have talent show tomorrow. Come see my daughter. Come see all the other kids that are out there. It's a great event, and don't forget the college fair, which is also an awesome event tomorrow night. Mary, is Mr. Newman going to join us, or?
He's coming right now.
Okay, so last word. Don't forget to run for the position of PA. We need you.
Yes, there's lots of positions, you know, just give it a try. We need people in all the different positions. So if you have any questions, reach out to Mia or to Shani, who are running our election committee, and they can happily answer any questions. So don't be nervous. There's lots of positions, and you're welcome to run.
Yes, parents can
Yes.
attend the college fair. Was that already answered?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Sorry, I was texting Newman.
We're going from the talent show. We're going to the college fair. So
Yeah,
Can parents attend the college fair?
yes.
Yes, okay.
parents probably have more interest than the students do. So yes.
Where is
Oh,
the
true.
college fair?
At school, like on the
No.
6th and 7th floor or something.
Up by the cafeteria, yes, because
By
we
the
got the talent
cafeteria.
show in the auditorium. So it's going to be a very
Okay.
busy day tomorrow.
Right, okay.
Yes, the college fair is only open to juniors.
Is Mr. Newman trying to get into the room?
I don't have access, so.
But I think it's now
Mary,
we open
Mary, I'll
to
make you a cup.
500.
Yes,
will make
he's
you a
in
co-
now.
Okay.
Mary, I would make you a co-host. I don't see you.
You don't see me. I see me. Everybody sees me.
I see you. I see your face. I don't see your name.
My name's there too. Here he is. There's David. He's here. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you
so,
for spotlighting
yeah.
me.
Oh wow, yep.
Okay,
Okay,
spotlighting
but-
now.
That's the one question that I think we need to address. Maybe Kim or Leslie can address that one since Ting is not here about the vendor fair. So why not tech? A PA is promoting this vendor. It's a PA event. It's not the school events. So I have to make it clear. So why tech is promoting these vendors? Because some of them are super expensive and likely beyond what many families can afford. Anyone would like to address this one?
Yes, these vendors, these are people that have taken, they have spent money and they've advertised with the PA and they are supporting us. That doesn't necessarily mean that we support them. There are various different test prep groups, so it's up to you to make your choice. if you want to support any of them. But again, we are telling you that we are giving this time because they have been kind enough to support the PA.
Yes, so PA just provide this information to parents, and the parents should make the decision by yourself and to select one that you feel is good or suitable for you. We PA doesn't endorse any vendors.
Exactly what Mia said. Yes, it's not up to us. You
Yes.
need to do your due diligence and
Yes.
talk to them and ask them questions during the breakout sessions and see if you want to support them. But we are just giving them this forum because they have advertised with the PA to support us.
Okay, Mr. Newman is here. Thank you, Mr. Newman, for making your time joining us.
No problem at all. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Great. I don't have anything scheduled to talk about. I don't know what's on people's minds. Mary had shot me while I'm in a meeting a few questions that I think I answered. But I guess
Those
I'll
were
just take
answered.
some questions.
So, Mary, can you read those questions that you think Mr. Newman
No,
can
we answered them. It was about the AP tests, basically.
Yep.
The AP half days. For the AP half days, there's classes in the afternoon for all students and tests in the morning.
Yeah, on those particular days, the schedule starts around 11. I think it actually starts at exactly 11:53, and the classes are 40 minutes or so until the culmination of the and so over the 4 days, it's a 1 to 5 schedule, 1 to 5 schedule, then a 6 to 10, then 6 to 10, meaning the first 2 days you would 11:53 your first period class, and the day would end at the end of your period class. And the second 2 days at 11:53 you would start your 6th period class, and the day would end at the end of your 10th period class.
Can I have a question, a general question? Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
If a parent like myself is interested in becoming, like a contract substitute teacher in the New York City public school system, one of the requirements is a nomination from a principal. How would you go about doing that? And
that is the most extremely personal question I've
I
ever
suggest that you call your office tomorrow,
it's
David.
on the website, and I don't mean it's just in general.
Send me an email. Send me an email.
Call Carol's office tomorrow, like I suggested.
Oh, I didn't get that email.
Oh.
Yeah, just a reminder, our meeting is a recording.
Yeah.
Fine. It's just a general. It's on the website.
There's a question about the AP. What if a student can't take the test on the scheduled day?
Yeah, it matters the reason. If you're sick, if you have something that really prevents you from being at the exam, there is a makeup date, but it's just not, it can't be like, it's not convenient, or I would prefer the latter date. Like, it has to be a real reason. And most of the time that's around sickness. But Mary did convey to me somebody maybe in this room that was not able to attend because they would be like not in the city due to a prior obligation. That would be okay to take the absentee exam.
There's one parent asks about the issue of teachers not being compensated for writing college recommendations. So could school or PA to compensate some of these teachers for all of their actual time? No,
and so that is, there's a couple of things here. One, there is I surely don't want to come off like anti-teacher, because I don't mean to do that. There are a certain number of periods in a day that teachers are designated to do other type of work. They teach 5 classes, they have a lunch period, and then they have a prep period, and then they have a professional period. And we have built in time for depending on how many recommendations that you have, to use your professional periods to write those recommendations. It can be encapsulated into their work day. It would to compensate teachers for writing recommendations sounds like an unbelievably slippery slope, and probably not legit, like not even contractually legal.
And just to add on to that, I've had 2 kids that have applied to college. There was never an issue. As long as you talk to the teacher, and give them sufficient time, there was never an issue with them writing the recommendation.
Yeah. So we're trying to compensate them as much time as we can. And I know that that's difficult and whatnot, but it would not be, it would be improper for the PA to pay people to write recommendations for their children.
And there was
Yes, I was
another
gonna add,
question that came up earlier. I'm sorry, Ken, about the Naviance. The students are in Naviance, but the parents still can't get in.
I already addressed that. I've told you to please email me and I'll put you in touch with the person who,
But this is for everybody. So can you just send the
you can
email?
all email me and I will send it to the person.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, it's a school-wide issue. It's not like a few parents. Like, we don't want 6,000 parents emailing. So can we just get a message out there that the parents don't have access to Naviance, and there be a mass email back with what to do?
I don't know if there's anything they can do unless you all want to, or, email you have to email somebody because some people have it. I mean, I thought there was like a meeting earlier this year.
For students, the students got it, the parents never got in.
All right, but I think we can look into what the situation is, and if it's affecting a mass number of people, I think we could just send out some simple directions.
Thank you.
Ken,
no, just want to piggyback that PA is not in a position to compensate the staff in Brooklyn Tech. Just it's a no. That's it. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Other
I
questions?
think for your go.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think your first vendor is in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, just to let you know. I mean, I'll take a couple more questions just to let you know that.
Yeah, so we have
let them in.
6:46, but we can have 4 more minutes. Sharon, I see Sharon raise her hand. Sharon, you can speak.
So there are many people in WeChat has complained about for the last week, like the SAT, PSAT, certain computer room were not ready. So some students have to be returned the next day. So parents concerned about that and how school can prevent it, in the future.
Yeah, look, it was our first time, everybody's first time across the nation giving it computer based. I will say, obviously, we give more exams. As you probably know, not this year, but next year, the AP exams are going to be all computer based as well. It's not just taking the exam on a computer. You have to download certain software, and the software sort of guides the exam along the way. But so some of them, the computers, when students got to school, it seemed like the software wasn't working. I don't believe there was any key issues, just some software issues, software that was working on computers previously, and then once the exam went live, didn't seem to be working out too well. We did actually have one room computers that completely, for some reason, malfunctioned on a PSAT, not on an SAT. But yeah, I think there was some I don't know, growing pains a little bit from the College Board, like doing this for the first time, and surely on end as well. So I just think the College Board and us being able to iron that out for the next, I think, is already in place.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Sorry for the noise. My son is cooking.
Amy's
Lucky
asking
you.
about the Wi-Fi in the school, if the students would be able to bring their laptops with pre-installed software.
Yeah, now the Wi-Fi is actually really good. Made massive improvements to the Wi-Fi in the last couple of years, mostly in bandwidth issues. I'm able to monitor in any given time how much of a percentage of our bandwidth that we're utilizing. We haven't gotten past 65-70% at all this year. So it's not really a Wi-Fi bandwidth issue, and absolutely students cannot use, I see in that question, their own laptops with the pre-installed software. Absolutely not. And so there's all sorts of provisions that they have against like cheating and whatnot. And I guess the first rule is students can't use their own devices.
So it's now 6:49, and Leslie, are all our vendors here? I think if Ting
Let me
isn't
check.
here, who you're gonna in charge of the fair today, right?
She's doing the breakout rooms, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll control the breakout rooms and open it when you guys are ready. I'm just seeing if everyone is here. I'm still going through.
But I think people may need some briefing or introduction to how to go through the the breakout room or like what's the process.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was under the impression that each vendor would talk a little bit, or no? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leslie, yes, every vendor has 7 minutes to describe what they're going to do.
Okay. So
excuse
and
me.
I think we have Miona because they're actually supposed to talk about their topic. And when they get to the breakout, then they can tell us about how great their test prep is at that point. But the first several minutes is supposed to be about the topic that they've agreed to talk on.
Right.
Okay, hold on. Please raise your hand. And then I'll call name. Otherwise, it's everyone speak at the same time. We cannot hear anyone. So raise your hand if you would like to speak. And I see, but before that, I think Ms. Newman left. So, but still, thank you, Mr. Newman. And I think we can move on to the vendor fairs. And I see, the vendor fair is for every parents, right? Not just junior or senior. Yeah. So Sharon raised her hand, and then Miana. Sharon.
Oh yes, actually, I was thinking to ask Mr. Newman, but he's not here, so it's okay. So you can move to the next. Yes.
Yeah, because there's no so it's just asked and he actually he's in another meeting, so he just squeezed in. So probably he thought
That's
we're gonna do Okay, Miana.
Okay, I need to let all the vendors know you're going to have 7 minutes. The first minute you can introduce yourself and your company. The last 6 minutes you need to stick on the topic that assigned to you. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay, so
thank you,
all
Miona.
vendors.
So Mia, our first vendor is going to be Epiphany.
And
they're going to discuss what is a public Ivy and how should I think about building my school list in 2024.
Okay, Kim, how about can you take over from here?
Leslie is our breakout master, but she's going to do that. But I'll be right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not ready for
Epiphany,
right?
Yeah, I have I have a proposal due tomorrow. I have been working on that so probably I have to leave first, and then I hope maybe Tiffany and Leslie and Kim, you can take over.
We are here. We just need the facilitator from Epiphany to go ahead and start.
Okay, good. Thank you. So,
Thanks, Mia.
Thank you,
you.
Mia. I
Thank
don't
you.
see them here. Does anyone have them? Okay, so maybe we would have to go on to the next person.
Yeah, I see 360s here. I see crimsons here.
All right, I think the next person would be Ingenious Prep.
Go ahead, Leslie. Yeah.
All right, can you introduce yourself, your company? Are you able to unmute?
Yep, sure.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today. My name is Matt Rosenbaum. I'm the Chief of Staff at Ingenious Prep. Ingenious Prep, very simply, is a college advising organization working with high-achieving students, helping them prepare for, apply to, and then ultimately enroll in some of the top universities in the U.S. We were founded about a decade ago with the idea that we would be able to consolidate all of the resources that a student might need to be able to prepare for some of the more elite institutions. Those resources include mentorship and guidance through our candidacy building program with former admissions officers and then graduates from the top schools. Also research projects working with a variety of over 200 professors where students are able to research topics of their interest and then ultimately are supported to publish papers. And then we also have something called the Leadership and Innovation Lab, which is an entrepreneurial incubator program to help students start nonprofits, businesses, and signature projects that they can ultimately use as sort of the focal point or capstone of their application. The question that I was asked to talk about today is whether or not a student should be looking to build out a well-rounded profile or sort of an angular one focusing on unique programming, whether that be research or like the signature projects that I was talking about. Ultimately, the strategy that we use at Ingenious Prep is this idea that a student should be building their application persona, which very simply is the idea that when a student is applying to a college, they're making an argument for what value they're going to add to that school, what value they're going to add to that school in the classroom, in student life areas, the alumni community, etc. The application persona can very simply be thought of as sort of filling in the blank. By looking at my application, you should see that I am a what. And ultimately, when a student works with us to explore their interests and then define their application persona, it's our responsibility to help the student build evidence in a variety of the verticals that the college they're looking at, which is going to be academics, extracurricular activities, and then personal interests and intellectual interests. What I want to talk about specifically, though, is sort of like the idea of well-rounded versus angular. And the best way to do that very simply is looking at sort of the extracurricular activities and thinking about how a student is presenting them in the activity list on the Common Application. So on the Common Application, a student is able to list, quantify, and qualify 10 different activities. And what I challenge students to do is think about those activities in two different categories. Category number one is we'll call foundational activities. Category number two we'll call application persona building activities. And reasonably speaking, a student should have 5 of each. A foundational activity is going to address the idea of well-rounded, and that's going to be things like clubs, sports, music, volunteer work, programs that are accessible to most students at most high schools nationwide. And these are going to be defined by long-term involvement and ones where students can demonstrate things like they're going to be a good classmate, they're going to be a good dorm mate, they upskill, they have some leadership opportunities and things like that.
So we think of Matt, maybe
yes.
we can talk more about in the break room because we only limit 1 minute per vendor in this main room. Thank you.
Right,
so you can talk about that later.
Right, I was answering the question.
I mean, because we are going to send you to the breakout room. So right now we allow the other vendors to introduce, themselves.
Oh, my understanding was that I had 1 minute for introduction and then 6 minutes to answer the question.
It passed already.
The 6 minutes passed?
So you have
Sharon,
70.
Sharon, now he's answering the question. He had another 6 minutes to
Oh,
answer
okay. I'm sorry
the
about
question
that.
that I assigned to
Okay.
him. Go ahead.
Sure. So the question, again, that I was answering is whether a student should be well-rounded or whether they should be angular. And the reality is that students can and should be both. So the well-rounded comes within what I was saying is the foundational activities, and then the angular comes in with the idea that the student should be selecting persona building activities such as capstone projects, research projects, summer programs that directly correspond to the student's application persona. And those are going to be programs that students really engage in 10th, 11th grade in the summers. They're not necessarily time bound, but again, they support the persona that the student is arguing about exactly what sort of spaces and places the student's going to occupy when they apply to a college. Thank you guys, and we'll talk more in the breakout room.
Thank you so much for that. All right. Epiphany's here, and you do have 1 minute for your intro and 6 minutes to give us your answer and your question, and then you can elaborate in the room. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is just a message from Epiphany that the person who will speak will be joining in a moment. Okay, they're just having a problem connecting.
Okay, so should we move on to the next?
You can move on to someone else, please. Thank you.
No problem. So the next one is 360. Is 360 here?
Hi. I'm gonna. Thank you.
All right, welcome. Go ahead.
Thanks so much. My name is Joey Yeager-Hyman, and I am the founder of College Prep 360. It's great to be here tonight. Thank you so much for having us in this forum. So my company, I founded it 14 years ago. I'm a former admissions officer at Dartmouth with a doctorate from Harvard in education, where I focused on the transition from high school to college. I've written a couple books on college admissions, and I've helped hundreds of students get into Ivy League and peer schools. Our company is different in that we really try to focus on a purpose-driven approach to college advising, really try to offer students something that is transformative and not transactional. And, we have great results because of that. So to answer the question about extracurricular activities, we do try to think about creating a wow moment, right? So something that is authentic, of course, but also extremely impressive. We really work with students to become change makers. That's what colleges want. They really want students who are aspirational. They want to solve an important problem in the world. They want to make change. And we show students how everybody is capable of doing that, right? We actually think that finding purpose is not just, it's obviously really impressive to colleges, but it's impressive to everybody. So we really encourage students to begin with one question. So the question is, how can I use my resources to, advance some kind of social or economic justice, make some kind of change in the world? What is something, I want to be working on, a problem I want to solve? And I think that's a really great place to start. That's a place where, again, you can tap into purpose, which is really about, the journey and not the destination. There's lots of different types of change makers. So you can think about, policy change, cultural change. Actually, lots of times we work with students who love sports, and we really start to try to work with them to see, how sports is culture. That's where we get a lot of our heroes, and that can be a great place to make change. Academic and intellectual change. So we've had students who worked on things like getting more, diversity and inclusion in fields like classics, right? Like, where were all the women in ancient Rome? Things like that. You can think about that in terms of art, literature, poetry, and music. Those are all great ways to make change and always have been. And then, of course, grassroots, community-based change, really working in the community, working on things like food insecurity, helping, recently arrived asylum seekers, et cetera. So there's 5 steps that we try to go through with becoming a change maker. So cultivating purpose, like I said, is, figuring out what it is that actually drives you, what you care about beyond college. But of course, yes, like all of this stuff is colleges love it because everyone loves it. Helping them gain expertise, because that's really important. Gaining expertise on an issue is a really important step to actually making change. Taking action, and we work with them to expect setbacks, but stay positive, and then ask for help when they need it. There's lots of different ways that students can gain expertise. Sort of the gold standard credential is to conduct research with a professor who is a content matter expert. Of course, we can help, but also students can do that on their own if they reach out to professors. Then I think the next level is really working with an expert mentor, somebody who's really has recognizable credentials, or embedding yourself in an organization or several that are aligned with the impact you seek to make. That allows students to really demonstrate leadership once they get there and gain expertise. And then, of course, there are other things you can do. And like, if you think of it as the gold, silver, and bronze level, on the bronze level, taking courses that align with subject matter, conducting independent research on your own, or maybe with a teacher at school that harnesses an existing body of research. I sort of gave some examples here of things that students are able to do that are really impressive, right? So we've had actually 3 students who published articles in Rolling Stone, or other publications like Miss Magazine or The Hill. Publications are great. Those are really wow. Working on political campaigns. So we have lots of students now who, it's an election year, as we know. So rolling up your sleeve with things like city council, the mayoral campaign. Believe it or not, there actually are people challenging Eric Adams now already. And of course, Senate, Congress. And we had a couple students who worked really hard on the campaign with the Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights that worked on the constitutional amendment there. That was a great catalyst for other constitutional amendments. We've also helped students organize things like conferences. So we've had a few that have been really successful. There was one actually, a reoccurring quarterly one on classics, one on one on women's health, and youth civic engagement. That was a great one where they had speakers from an organization called Run for Something talk about how, all the ways that you can get involved even when you're a young person. Other things are like organizations and initiatives. So we've had students who've started community fridges. We have a bunch of students who are organizing now around affordable housing with this Paper Houses campaign. We have a student who started a program called Museum and Master Class, working with an organization that works with newly arrived immigrants to take them around to museums. We're organizing a free store at a shelter soon where people can go shop for donated items, etc. Awards and accolades are great. So we've actually had a couple of students who have had days named after them in their towns by their mayors. Their Presidential Service Award is great, Scholastic, Young Arts, things like that. So, it's really, again, it is about starting with purpose and finding that wow moment where, everything clicks and people really start to see you as someone who's capable of making change. That's what colleges love, and everyone loves that.
Thank you so much. So once I stop the spotlight, thank you. That means that usually your 7 minutes is up. But thank you again. All right. Epiphany, are they here and ready to go? I believe I did see someone.
Oh, hi. Eli, hello, how are you? Eli Epstein Deutsch is waiting for, to let him accept. He's the presenter from Epiphany Manhattan Academy.
I just let him in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiffany. And if you spot him when he come in, Tiffany, can you spotlight him and I'll start the clock?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, he's just joining now. I can see him.
Okay. Can you spot him?
Yes.
Okay, here he is.
Hello.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us. So you do have 7 minutes, 1 minute to introduce yourself and 6 minutes to go towards that targeted question that we did give you guys. So your time starts now. Welcome.
Hi, do I have I can screen share my presentation, right?
Do you want to save it for the breakout rooms?
Yes.
Or do you want to do it here? Is this like just a brief introduction, so then everybody gets breakout rooms, or you could do a more comprehensive?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right. So I'll just do a brief introduction without the slides for now. I'll do the slides in the background. So my name is Eli Epstein Deutsch, and I am an admissions coach with Epiphany Manhattan Academy, which is a full service admissions academy in Midtown West. And I want to talk just a bit today, brief overview of public IVs. What is a public IV and how to think about your school list. And I actually think that this idea has a large bearing on how students now should be thinking about putting together their school list. And actually the way that people used to think about admissions even 5 years ago, I think has dramatically changed. And the reason for that is that the old idea, okay, I'm going to look at private schools as some of the most selective, challenging schools, and then maybe a public state school, that's maybe going to be my safety. I think people traditionally used to think about it a little bit like that. Someplace like Cornell University, for instance, very selective school, obviously. But these days, the reality is that universities like University of Florida, University of California, San Diego, schools like that have gotten much more competitive, and in fact, are also becoming fundamentally stronger and more desirable schools. They're attracting more talent, more research funding than ever before, and that's actually kind of reflected in the increased numbers of students that want to go to these schools compared to in the past. So that's kind of given rise to this term public Ivy. A school like Georgia Tech used to have kind of a decade ago, used to maybe have a 61% acceptance rate. Today it's down to 17. People think of maybe University of Texas, Austin, as not that challenging. But today, especially from out of state, schools like that become very hard. So what does that mean for you in terms of how you're building your school list? So for one thing, I think it means that coming up with a safety target structure, you need to think a little bit more outside the box of what students might have thought in the old days. So, being a little bit creative about what goes on that safety list, and also thinking about, if I'm applying early, a lot of these public schools have an early action option. So I think one takeaway is that students need to be applying earlier to more schools and actually be a little bit prepared for that November cycle. Public Ivies, so-called, that we're talking about, like Georgia Tech, like University of Michigan, that's another example. A lot of these schools have early action options, and now I think it's common for that deadline around November 1st to be the major application time. People used to wait until, maybe January, but now you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to apply to a bunch of really strong public schools as some of my high reaches, and I'm actually going to put the effort in to get an application ready by that kind of November 1st deadline. So that's kind of one takeaway. With that early action option, it's actually not preventing you from also applying to a private school. It kind of, in that the ED1 slot, those actually happen at the same time. But you can kind of put together a long list of kind of your top kind of public schools and give yourself a much better crack at those by actually having a strong application kind of prepared early. So that's the sort of beginnings of what to think about with a public Ivy strategy. Another point to think about there is a lot of these schools are admitting now by major, right? So if you apply to a private school like, say, Yale University, you're applying to Dartmouth, you're applying to a liberal arts school, maybe like Amherst. those schools will let you in with, what you suggest you're going to major as. And then once you get to that school, you can kind of major in whatever, right? But a lot of these public universities, they're like UIUC, University of Champaign, Illinois, Berkeley, these schools are admitting by major. And so, if you apply computer science at Berkeley and you get in for that, or you apply to Urbana for computer science, computer engineering, you're not going to be able to easily transfer or just turn around and major something else. Or you might, but there's actually a process attached to that. So that affects your kind of whole admission strategy as you're applying to those schools. You need to be a lot more intentional. Okay, what major are you going for? Is it something that you really want to study? And if not, what are the internal transfer processes at those schools? They're big schools. You actually kind of need to think about, that strategy a little bit more intentionally. So at Epiphany, just to wrap up, we're very interested in these questions of major strategy, transfer strategy. We think a lot about that early action period, getting all your applications ready so that you're set up, to get into a top school connected to what you want to study with the highest likelihood. So if you join us for the breakout room, we're going to talk a lot more about putting together a balanced school list and also address your kind of specific questions around any of those schools and actually how to target them.
Thank you so much for that. All righty. And I believe the next one is Crimson, I believe. Okay, I see you.
We're here. We have some slides, just one quick intro slide, and then a few that lead into our core content for the evening. So I'll pull those up quickly.
Did you say Princeton or Crimson?
Crimson, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. I misheard you.
Okay. And we just keep in mind it's 1 minute for intro and 6 minutes for the brief question, and then you can elaborate in the room, okay?
Yep, you've got it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, thanks everyone for being here. My name is Jeremy Parks. I'm a former admissions officer from Johns Hopkins University. I'm also a senior strategist. I've led our former admissions officer team here at Crimson in the past, held a bunch of other hats here too. But at our core, we are here as the world's largest college admissions consultancy. We are helping our students prepare their applications for the best universities in the world. We do it with a high rate of success comparatively. Our students are routinely getting into their top choices, whatever that may be. Sometimes that is not the Ivy League. We support students from all aspects of the ladder. And we certainly have a lot of experience helping our students in New York as well. And that will be our core topic for the evening tonight when we get into the breakout room is 10 tips and tricks specifically for New York freshmen and sophomore students. So looking for our younger folks in the crowd this evening. We'll start with some quick roadmaps that show a few examples of how we work here at Crimson with our students and what to think about depending on where you are in the room this evening. All the students that you see in our photos as well are real students that we've worked with and they're accepted photos. So we start in freshman year, and I am always very comfortable giving a student the entirety of this first year of high school to really figure out what it is that they love to do. We spend that year poking and prodding at that in a lot of different ways through having them research, watch various vloggers and YouTube videos, reaching out to folks in the professional field where we have connections, trying to get them involved in perhaps initial internship work or research, but really probing at what is it that they could focus on for the next several years and enjoy. As we do that along the timeline throughout the year, we're also trying to build core competencies. And so no matter where you are in the college admissions process, it isn't just about the things you put into your profile. We're constantly focused on student development throughout the process. What you're doing should mean something in the end. And so we're looking at those critical skills like thinking for yourself and developing your own ideas that in working with hundreds of students myself and having many of them accepted to all of the top 30 schools here in the US, it's very rare to find students who know how to do that or advocate for themselves. And so we're trying to build these skills on top as we initially figure out what the core could be for a student. This can include taking lots of different courses into the second year, perhaps even using the summer between these two to kind of start off in that second year with more of a solidified plan. Hopefully we've landed on something that the student's interested in. We can focus on that, or perhaps a hybrid plan with a dual major in mind. And we start to really challenge them by applying to competitive summer programs this coming summer. We start focusing on standardized test prep. thinking about things that will save us time later in the process and can save room for developing on things that really mean something to your major, what we'll eventually call the capstone, your opportunity to really shine and build your own project that's unique to you, that hopefully didn't exist before you were around and wouldn't exist without your direct influence. So one example, a student that I worked with in recent years started the largest business case competition in Ontario. Never existed before, heard about them from US colleges, was able to gather friends, create a network, and implement a competition that hosted 500 students the first time it went around. It's broke 1,000 students since then and been handed off, but very cool opportunities that arise from these students figuring out their interests early and then having time to work on them and develop them through these following years. And a couple of quick application tips just to lead into our things that we will talk about in these New York specific tips, depending on where you are in the room. If you're a little bit older, thinking about really starting to finalize those pieces of your application, whatever projects you're already working on, thinking about where you can top them out in terms of benchmarking, how many people's lives you can touch, how much money can be fundraised or donated, things like that, that you can start to put end goals to that will be ready for that application process coming at the start of 12th grade. And also getting yourself ready for the college writing process, which can be far different from the standard 5-paragraph essay that you're taught to write all throughout school. And so we spend a lot of time really kind of de-teaching and reteaching our students how to do that writing as well and be focused on a narrative piece. This is obviously not a perfect formula, but this is something to keep in mind. We are doing holistic admissions, and we do believe in that deeply with the students that we work with. Academics always being first and foremost and a premier qualifier, given that we have more qualified applicants than we know what to do with, but following with really important emphasis on these extracurriculars, as well as strong writing and strong personal image within the application. The academics, we look at it from top to bottom with the students. So we're not just looking at the grades, we're looking at course rigor and selection years out to make sure that we have those things squared away in advance. Standardized test prep, and also discussing test optional approaches for students where that may not be a reality for applying to their dream schools. I was very lucky this year, maybe one of the unicorns. I had a student I worked with who did test optional to Yale and got in this year. That'll unfortunately be going away, but our data does show that is a viable option for many of the students that we work with as well. And then teaching them what it means to go above and beyond at a really competitive school like Brooklyn Tech, or a very competitive market like New York, New Jersey, et cetera. Working with the extracurricular side of things, trying to bring out their passions and trying to bring what they love in the classroom to life, giving them really hands-on opportunities. This can happen through our Indigo research arm, where we pair students with tenured professors to work on published research projects and presenting them. This can be through our Delta Careers Institute, where you can work with Ferrari or Uber or Amazon Web Services and have a full internship experience throughout your high school years. But we're working to try and give those real life experiences to prove that that future engineer or doctor has some of the initial skills that they need to show that in the field. And lastly, the writing. So we do focus on trying to, as I said, de-teach and reteach a lot of the writing that our students are taught coming into this college process, and to teach them the importance of a narrative and writing a story that's unique to them, that uses their voice, that accounts for a lot of their story, and that uniquely ties a lot of the ideas that blend their extracurriculars and their academics together. We are really lucky to share a lot of this work as well. I did see some concerns earlier in the chat. We are really lucky to have an entire scholarship program here as well through the Crimson Access opportunity. So there are plenty of free opportunities to work with our strategists as well here at Crimson, but we'll look forward to sharing more in our breakout room with our 10 tips and tricks specifically for everybody. So we'll see you then.
Thank you. You did have 30 seconds to spare. Great job. All right. And next we have Princeton review. Let me just get them on the screen.
Okay, hi. I'm also going to screen share if that's okay. I have my questions ready to go, and then some more slides for the breakout room. So can you see that, everyone? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole Iannucci. I'm the partnership manager for the Princeton Review. I've spent my entire career in education, but specifically the test prep field for the past 13 years. So again, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the Parent Association hosting this event tonight. Just to give you a little bit of information about the Princeton Review, we've been around for over 40 years, helping students and parents guide them through the college admissions process. We understand that it is a very scary, it can be a very scary process. And if you feel stressed out or anxious about the college admissions process, you are not alone. We have a variety of tools and resources to help students and families on their journey. And this is just a sampling of some of the things we offer. If you'd like more information, you can find it on our website. But the questions I was asked to talk about today were specifically relating to the SAT, and I'm going to throw the ACT in that bucket as well, since they are both college admissions tests. So I have 3 questions to go over, and if you have more questions relating to testing, I can review some more in the breakout room. Okay, so the first question was, if taking the SAT, when should students take their first test? So this is pretty common. There is no real rules around this. Students are able to take the SAT whenever they would like. In fact, it's not just limited to high school students, so anybody out there can go ahead and register for the SAT. It's offered several times per year, but most commonly, students take the SAT sometime in their junior year, so that's sometime in their 11th grade year. The reason why it's best to wait until junior year is you want to make sure that you have those 2 full years of schooling under their belts before they go ahead and tackle this test. And just gives them a little bit more time to prepare as well. So most common to take it in the junior year. The summertime also seems to be very popular for students to take it. There is an August SAT test date as well as a July ACT test date. So some students like the option of prepping in the summer and taking it either before their junior year or before their senior year, if you're a little short on time, so that they can focus on just test prep without having to worry about keeping their academic grades up as well. Okay, another question I received was, how many times should a student take the SAT or ACT? Again, there's no limit. You can take it as many times as you want. Most students typically tend to take it once or twice, which is very average. I have seen some students who take it a lot more than that, but it's really just going to be up to you. But one advantage to taking the SAT more than one time is something called super scoring. And also just scores do tend to go up with retakes, especially if you're putting additional prep into that. So super scoring, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's when a college or university will take your different section scores from different test dates and combine those scores together to give you what is known as a super score. So in the example here, the student got a 640 in the verbal on the October test date and a 530 in math, and then they received a 590 in verbal and a 600 in math when they retook the SAT in December. A college will take that 640 verbal and 600 math, combine them, and give this student a SAT score of a 1240. They'll consider this student to have an SAT score of 1240, even though they never actually got a 1240 on the SAT. Most colleges, about 90% super score. They love to do it because it also makes them look better. It kind of artificially inflates that average test score of their admitted students. So if you're not sure if the colleges you're applying to super score or not, you can go ahead and check their websites. ACT also has the ability to super score, although it is not as common as the SAT. How many times should you take it? What my advice is, take it once so that you have it if you need it, even if you're applying to test optional schools. If you're not happy with your score, go ahead and take it twice. See if you can get that score up a little bit. Take it 3 times if you really need a 3rd attempt, but we recommend no more than 3 attempts because after that, scores rarely go up and then students just get very stressed out, as do the parents. So no more than 3 if you have that option. And what should your goal score be? Well, that's kind of a trick question because there's no one magic score. A good score is going to be a little bit different for each student. It just really depends on where you are looking to go to college. So a good score is a score that's going to get you into a college that you really want to attend. And last but not least, how can students best prepare for the SAT? There are many different ways to prepare. So really, this is a personal preference option and also how much time you have. There are practice tests. We offer free practice tests. I'm sure there are many other free tests out there as well. Some students like prepping out of a book. There's something called self-prep online. So what this is all pre-recorded options online. It could be through us or another company. You could take a course. They are offered in person or online. They have a varying amounts of hours. So if you want something that is more instructor-led, and then if you need something more individualized, if you're really looking to maximize the results, we recommend that you can work with a tutor as well. So again, it really just depends on where you are in the process, what your child's learning style is, and which option works best for them. So I will cover some more information regarding SAT and ACT in the breakout session. Just one thing to keep in mind, whenever you do decide to take the SAT or the ACT, just make sure you're doing your prep right up until the actual testing date. And if you want to check out, we have a lot of free resources available on our website related to testing and college admissions. And I think I should be right about at time there. So, yep.
You do have 40 seconds.
Oh, got 40 seconds. Well, great. Well, here's my information, everyone. So feel free to jot down my email address if you have any questions. If you are not able to join in the breakout room and you wanted to ask anything about college admissions or testing, I'd be happy to help. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me just remove that. All right. So that was informative. Just a brief breakdown of everyone. Are we ready to get the breakout room started? Are we on a go, Tiffany, Kim?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right, guys, you'll be able to join yourself once you see a pop-up. Just select the room. I'm sorry, the time is really going off. You would be able to select the room that you want to go to, and you can pick and move from room to room. You can always come back to the main room if you like, and you can leave from the main room. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, so welcome back. The rooms are closed. I hope they were informative. Tiffany, or Kim, is anyone on that would like to make closing remarks? Tiffany?
Hi, yes, I'm here. From here we can just go. I don't know if they really intended us to come back, but thank you everybody for joining. I hope you got the information you needed, the email addresses, the websites to sign up for personal consultations if there's something you're interested in. And I hope everyone has a good night. Remember, tomorrow is the college fair and also the talent show. So I hope to see you there. Can we adjourn the meeting?
Thank you
Yes.
all, our vendor. Thank you.
Thank you, Miona.
Will we get an email with all their contacts? Or is that possible?
Yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you to all the vendors who joined us tonight.
Thank you. Good night.